Today we're going to look at Magic the Gathering cards that should be legendary, but they're not for some reason. We're going to start off with Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. This is like Mount Doom, and then we say, okay, we're going to go to Mount Doom to throw the ring in there, and then someone else is like, well, which Mount Doom? What are you talking about? Well, there's many Mount Dooms, as there is with Valakut the Molten Pinnacle, because apparently, because it's not legendary, there's like probably 12 of them out there, or at least 4, as per the lore of actually playing out a game. I've faced 4 Valakut the Molten Pinnacles a billion times. Enters the battlefield tapped whenever a mountain enters the battlefield under your control. If you control at least 5 other mountains, you may have Valakut the Molten Pinnacle deal 3 damage to a creature or player. And then people copy that. I forgot. No, I've been up against like 6 Valakuts before, because people copy the Valakut the Molten Pinnacle with like Thespian Stage and stuff. Pretty bizarre card to have multiples on the battlefield. Huge, it's probably also a huge flavor fail. But yeah, I think I'm gonna start it off with Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. Next, we got Aladdin. How many Aladdins are there out there? I mean, hey, there's definitely more than one person named Aladdin. I'm not gonna say it. He doesn't have a patent or copyright on this name. No one else is allowed to be called Aladdin. But seriously, this red 2 generic 1/1 human rogue, red 1 generic tap, gain control of target artifact for as long as you control Aladdin the thief. Like Aladdin, there's probably only one Aladdin the thief around here, and this is this one. But apparently I could have many Aladdin the thieves. Aladdin could be a clan of people. How bizarre. Yeah, so that is certainly a creature that should be legendary, but for some reason was not. And I don't, even back then, this card is from Arabian Nights. Like, didn't they have legendary creatures back then? Or am I wrong? Or did legendary creatures come out in, Legends themselves? Yeah, maybe they didn't invent legendary creatures at that time. Any historians in the chat to help clear things up? Alright, we're gonna move on. Welcome, Kefk. We've got, Tommy says the Nephilium cycle. Tommy. Nephilium. I don't even know what any of these are. Oh, are these supposed to be like very unique creatures? And these are not even, these are very old, they're old, but they're sort of new. Okay, we got a green, red, black, blue, glint eye, Nephilim. A 2/2 Nephilim. Whenever Glint Eye Nephilim deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. Pay 1, discard a card. Glint Eye Nephilim gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I don't know the lore behind this fellow. This is a very bizarre fellow. And what, we've got like a range of Nephilims here. The Dune Brood Nephilim, the Ink Treader Nephilim, the Might of the Nephilim. Oh, this is just an instant. Witchmaw Nephilim, your Tiller Nephilim. Okay, I get it. This is like the Eldrazi, right? Like, there are very specific Eldrazi's. You got your Ulamogs, and by Ulamogs, I mean you got like one Ulamog, you got one Kozilek, you got one Emrakul, and then that's it. So Ulamog, Kozilek, Emrakul. Yeah, I think there's only the big 3. But in this case, Nephilims. Yeah, for whatever silly reason. Okay, Rob Boy says, Arabian Nights, Antiquities, and Alpha and Beta had no legends. We got it. Thank you so much, Rob Boy. So we've answered the question. So there's probably a lot of cards back then that should be legendary, but aren't. I wonder if Shivan Dragon would be legendary by today's standards. Or Sarah Angel. Hold on, is it Sarah Angel or Sarah's Angel? I never thought about Sarah Angel. The angel remembers her past lives like her dreams. Her song held up meadows. Her blade drove back darkness. Her wings carried her across the ages. This feels like this is like a very specific angel, but maybe this is one of Sarah's angels. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong. Yo, little Ted. Ali from Cairo. Yeah, the Ali. He was banned at one point. Why would they ban poor Ali? He's my buddy. Alright, we got a red 2 generic 0/1 human. Damage that would reduce your life total less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. What is it, worship? This thing is worship on a creature, and if you don't have removal, then you just lose. But they had removal back then. Like every deck had removal. Blue had bounce, white had swords to plowshares, red had bolts, black had destroy things, green had berserk, maybe? Something, perhaps? That's my Tommy's like, Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle. Ah, yeah, they didn't have legendary creatures back then. According to rumors, the problem with named characters in that set was what led to legendaries being created. Ah, so they're like, maybe they didn't play test it well enough, and then after they realized, wow, I got like 4 Ali from Cairo on the battlefield. This is a little bit bizarre. Yeah, and I got an Aladdin, and you have an Aladdin. This is really weird. It's a huge flavor fill. Well, maybe we should only be allowed to have one of them. Well, how do we fix this? Well, we create the legend rule. We create the legend rule. Abe says, that's right, Shaman. Should be legendary. Even if they did, this card probably would still get banned everywhere because it's a 1-mana planeswalker. Yeah, I hear ya. I hear ya. Probably would deserve to be legendary. And only use, oh no, if it was used under the old, yeah, no, if you, not the old legend rule, but the old legend rule where if you play a legendary creature, each player wipes each other's out. That would be fair. Abzo with the Maelstrom Archangel. Maelstrom Archangel. What about it, Abzo? Green, red, black, blue, white for a 5/5 flyer. When Maelstrom Archangel deals combat damage to a player, you may cast a spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. There is no world where angels fear to tread. Except, I guess, for the Maelstrom Archangel. Maybe? I guess? I don't know. Why is it called the Maelstrom Archangel and it's Wooburg? Anyway, moving on. The Underworld Cookbook. Well, now, I know what you're talking about. I agree with you. This looks like a unique legendary artifact. For 1 mana, you can tap it, discard a card, create a food token. You know what we're cooking up in this show. Pay 4, tap, sacrifice the Underworld Cookbook. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So it actually looks like a completely unique artifact, but at the same time, we can print more. Maybe, who made this thing? Was it Asmarana Mardika Dasna Kuldakar? I mean, maybe she put it on she got a publisher to print many Underworld cookbooks. Who said that that's a private book of her own? So anyway. So maybe more than one cookbook out there. The World Tree from Dem. The World Tree. It even has the word "the" in it. It is the World Tree. The World Tree enters the battlefield tapped, but it's not the only one apparently. Tap, add a green. As long as you control 6 or more lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. And then for double Wooburg, 10 mana, tap, sack the World Tree, search your library for any number of God cards, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. It has such a legendary effect. It is oozing unique legendary everything. Nikachu just flexing that he can say Asmo's name. You know, I had to practice, honestly, when it came to Asmarano. Asmarano, oh, did I? Asmo? Sorry, Asmo. Asmarano Mardika Dasna Kuldakar. When this card first came out, I had to practice for a whole day until I got it right. And then it just sticks. It's like riding a bike. You never forget. Back to the World Tree. It is the World Tree. It does big World Tree things. But you can have more than one of them out on the battlefield. You can search your library for any number of God cards like as many times as you want. You could do it 4 times if you could flex on it. Do as many times. Alright, well... People say Urza lands. Alright. Oh, God! Yeah! I never even thought about that! Urza's Tower! Well, there's more than one? This looks like there is just one Urza's Tower. I mean, in theory, he could have more. Could have the Urza's Tower. Urza's Tower number 2. Urza's Tower number 3. There's no limit to how many towers he can have. But this really actually feels like there's only one of them out there. Urza studied the creation of the Thran not simply to learn from them, but to surpass them. They're Urza's mine? It should be more like one of Urza's mines. No, but this is Urza's mine. And then, of course, Urza's power plant. I don't know how many power plants he's got out there. Urza's quite the industrial person, in my opinion. You know, he's mining resources, creating power plants. Apparently, he's building cities with his towers. It's more, I think he's the most modernized, one of the more modernized characters in the entire game. Oh, there's Urza right over there. I didn't even notice. There's a bunch of alternate art for Urza cards, meaning there are multiples. Come on. Let's not ruin the show here. we need to do there's a little bit of make-believe when it comes to Coffee and MTG. Anyway, yeah, a lot of it feels like there's only one tower. These should be, and you know what? This ability is so busted, probably should be legendary. All right, let's get to some of these super chats. We got King Ginger with Mycosynth Golem. Mycosynth Golem. I don't know anything about the lore to this guy. Is there like only one golem of the Mycosynth tribe? I mean, he looks like some sort of general leading everyone on. So it's 11 mana, affinity for artifacts. Artifact creature spells you play have affinity for artifacts. It's like the affinity creature of all affinity creatures, but you know, I can't speak much beyond that. Rot Boy with Mayor of Averbreck. How could there be 2 mayors? Or 3? Or 4? How can you have 5 mayors on the battlefield? Green, 1 generic, 1/1. Other human creatures you control get +1/+1. And at the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Mayor of Averbrook. Yeah, you have 2 mayors of Averbrook on the battlefield. I'm the real mayor around here. No, I'm the mayor. They're competing for political power. Well, I'm running for mayor. Yeah, so politically this makes absolutely no sense. You have several mayors on the battlefield. Are there multiple towns called Avabrook where there is a mayor of them? That's possible. Averbrook North, Averbrook West, Averbrook South and East. Or maybe Averbrook in different countries, different planes, that also happen to have a mayor that transforms into a werewolf. Very unusual, but I guess it's possible. You'd have multiple experiment ones in play? Yeah, sure. Alright, moving on. We got Geyer here. We got Geyer, thanks so much. Oracle of the Alpha Arena. That's a bit strange. Well, I mean, like, I guess it's like a fortune teller, right? This is the Oracle of the Alpha. Blue, 2 generic, 2/3 flyer. When Oracle of the Alpha enters the battlefield, conjure the power 9 into your library, then shuffle. When Oracle of the Alpha attacks, scry 1. Seems like one of the most powerful creatures in the multiverse. What does that even mean, the Oracle of the Alpha? This is like breaking the 4th wall, by the way. It's like we're going back to the set of Alpha, and all the other planeswalkers are like, what are you talking about? What's Alpha? What's Beta? I've never heard of like Arabian Nights the set. Anyway. A little bit of 4th wall break here by Wizards of the Coast. Okay, Skyneo says, feel like Lotus Field / Veil should be legendary if Nyx Lotus is legendary. Ah, the Lotus Field. I think, though, however, in this case, it's a field of lotuses. Oh, no, but the card itself is a field. It's not one lotus. I guess in theory there could be a second field, like you have a crop of corn. It's not like that's the only crop of corn out there. There's gonna be many crops of corn. So I think that's how it's supposed to be. Whereas something like Nykthos, that's like a shrine, right? Did you say Nykthos? Where did I get this question from? No, I don't even know. I've lost track. Sorry about it. Lotuses, LOTL, huh? Okay, I will just move on here. Urza Saga. Truth be told, this card doesn't sorta acts legendary because it doesn't sit on the battlefield for very long. Yeah, you pay Chapter 1, gain a mana. You can tap to add mana. Chapter 2, pay 2, tap, create a 0/0 construct. +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Chapter 3, search your library for an artifact card. Mana cost 0 or 1. Each saga technically should be significantly legendary. It's not like Urza's doing several sagas at a time. There can only be one saga at any one moment. And you have to finish one saga before you begin another one. You can't layer these sagas on top of each other. Otherwise, it's all part of the same saga. Yeah, that's a flavor fill. Moving on, we got Abe. Abe, thank you so much for the super chat. All the guild halls from the original Ravnica. Sunhome, Fortress of Legion, and Prav, Spires of Order. They even have a comma in the name. Oh, that's right. Sunhome, Fortress of Legion. There's only one of these. And it's not even hard to make this legendary. Who wants to have multiples of these in their deck in the first place? Tap, add a colorless, and then you can pay Boros to generic. Tap, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Sunhome, the stalwart shield, the towering sentinel, the seat of justice. This is very much a legendary card that you can have multiples on the battlefield for no good reason. Stranger Candy, thank you so much for your super chat. Goldspan Dragon. Smog, right? It's Smog, but in Magic the Gathering. Red 3 generic flying haste. When Goldspan Dragon attacks or becomes the target of a spell or target of a spell, create a treasure token. And treasures you control have tap, sack this artifact, add 2 mana of any one color. 4/4 dragon. I guess he comes from a family or something. I could see him as legendary, but it's probably a family of many Goldspan dragons. Oh yeah, Mishra's Workshop. Totally agree, you little Ted. Mishra's Workshop. This land is so broken, but at the same time, I have to admit, it's a little awkward to use. Tap, add 3 mana to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast artifact spells. This is like the workshop of workshops. Yeah, what, does Mishra have multiple workshops? Some in China, some in India, some in America. Though he eventually came to despise Tokaisa, Mishra listened well to her lessons and on clarity and purpose. Unlike his brother, he focused his mind on a single goal. Yeah, making stuff. Making the finest artifacts for the cheapest cost in the multiverse. Got to get them profit margins up. Alright, what do we got here? Christopher B with Frankenstein. Excellent choice. Is this... So this was the Dark. I think they had legendary creatures by then, so this was a huge fail on Wizards of the Coast's part. So black X. Why does it have X in the casting cost? It's a 0/1 creature. When Frankenstein's monster, this is like the monster, is brought into play, if you do not take X creatures from your graveyard and remove them from the game, Frankenstein's monster is countered. For each creature removed from the graveyard this way, you may choose to give Frankenstein's monster a permanent +2/+0, +1/+1, or +0/+2. Alright, so for you eat up creatures, it's like graveyard hate for yourself. Is it? Only from your graveyard. This is definitely a legendary creature. Moving on, we got Mega Ashnod's Altar. We got 3 generic artifacts, sack a creature, tap. Sack a creature, just add 2 colorless to your mana pool. How many Ashnod's Altars can there be out there? If you work at sawing up carcasses, you notice how the joints fit, how the nerves are arrayed, and how the skin peels back. Oh, that's disgusting. It's disgusting, Ashnod. You know, even after they created the legend rule, it seems like Wizards is like, you know, who cares about flavor here? Doesn't matter. And like, would it even be a big deal? Like, most people play Commander. Putting legendary cards in that deck is not even that big of... It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It doesn't break the game all that much. Although they are making more cards that depend on legendary permanence on the battlefield, you know. So, I don't know, maybe they're thinking about that. Alpha Nerd with Ornithopter? What are you talking about? Where in the lore is this like a singularly unique... There's like multiple ornithopters even over the history of the game. Can't accept this one. Sorry about that. I don't think this really qualifies as a legendary card. Alpha Nerd. Ecos. Soulfire Grandmaster. He is a Grandmaster. Soulfire. Because of rank and feel. The Grandmaster of all Grandmasters of the Soulfire. 1 white, a 1 generic, 2/2 lifelink, instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink. And you can pay, is it 2 generic. The next time you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand this turn, put that card in your hand instead of into graveyard as it resolves. Very unique ability. Has a very, very legendary feel to it. You guys are just bombarding me with the super chats today. 10th District Legionnaire. She's even named in the flavor text for crying out loud. Okay, we have a white-red human soldier haste. Oh, it's like a very specific soldier, right? Whenever you cast a spell that targets the 10th District Legionnaire, put a +1/+1 counter on 10th District Legionnaire. Then scry 1. The 10th is under heavy attack, but is being handled. I sent Maliva. Oh, the 10th District Legionnaire. So I guess there's a 9th, the 12th. So it's very specific. Very specific. Hence, it could be legendary. Okay, let's look at some freebies here, you people. What do you guys say, Corbinek? Nikachu needs more Zenny to afford his coffee habits. Thank you, chat. Yes, I need more. Yeah, I keep sending. I need to pay for that chocolate protein powder that I put in my coffee frappuccinos in the morning. Jacob with Godsire. What do we got with Godsire here? It looks like a very unique beast. Okay, we got a white, green, red, 4 generic, 8/8 beast with vigilance. Tap, put an 8/8 beast creature token into play that's red or green. Lay sacrifice to the Godsire that it may spare us, but save some for his progeny who also will hunger. Says Sienna, the elvish god toucher. So they're talking about Godsire as if this is a very unique creature. This is like some bizarre this is a very bizarre creature. 4 tusks? You're lucky, Godsire. No one's going after that precious ivory of yours. They got some good regulations on the plain of Alara regarding hunting. Next up, we got Trevor Peebles. The Door to Nothingness. Probably should be called The Door to Nothingness, shouldn't it? 5 generic. Artifact, just Door to Nothingness, enters the battlefield tapped. Double Wooburg, tap sack, Door to Nothingness. Target player loses the game. Oh, God! Only a madman could create such a door. Only an imbecile would open it. Yeah, very legendary artifact. Or at least it should. King Ginger. Yeah, we also... Oh, let's look at... We did look at the Nephilim cycle. Let's look at Witch Maw. The Witch Maw Nephilim. For black, blue, white, green for a 1/1. Whenever you play a spell, you may put 2 +1/+1 counters on Witch Maw Nephilim. Whenever Witch Maw Nephilim attacks, it gains trample until end of turn if its power is 10 or greater. So when it awoke, it shattered the hillsides to make way for its passage. Is it really that big? Do we need to have a battle of the Eldrazi's versus the Nephilims? The Nephilims might win because they are somehow technically not legendary within the realm of, you know, the Magic the Gathering game. I guess they don't need to be because I guess they're pretty puny and pathetic in comparison to the Eldrazi. 1 Emrakul attack and it's all over. They all go, the Nephilims all get blown away. Sinbad by Chen. Is it Sin? I thought it was Sinbad? Oh, no, it's Sinbad. Okay. Sinbad, blue, 1 generic, 1/1 human. Tapped, draw a card and reveal it. If it isn't a land card, discard it. Yeah, if this is not a legendary creature, I don't know what is. This is a very unique character within the storyline of, I don't know, actually, where Sinbad comes from. I don't think... I'm not familiar with the stories. So, if you know, then you know. But if you don't... I know it's a unique character, though, in a story. Yeah, while we're here, let's look at Abu Jafar. Another character that should be legendary. Why don't they just errata it to legendary? Like, is that so hard? We need to make the set we're return to Arabian Nights. Going back to Arabian Nights. Or I guess they sort of did that, did they? Like Kaladesh? Is that like the closest we sort of did? It's not literally the plane, but it's like the flavor is still there. Abu, what do you do? Okay, white was 0-1 human. When Abu Jafar dies, destroy all creatures blocking or blocked that they can't be regenerated. Holy crap, that guy's broken. Blocking? Why would anyone even want to block this card? Okay, Sinbad is from Arabia. Oh, okay, so it was one of the many stories of 1001 Nights. 1001 stories, God, that's a lot of stories. Okay, we're moving back to the super chats. Can't even fly. Precursor Golem is the first golem. Oh, really? The first golem. It's like the first sliver. 5 generic for a 3/3 golem. When Precursor Golem enters the battlefield, put 2 3/3 golem creature, colorless golem artifact creature tokens on the battlefield. The golem gave birth. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single golem, that player copies that spell for each other golem that spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those golems. Well, that sucks. What kind of golem is this? Someone gets shot with a lightning bolt and then all other golems get shot with a lightning bolt? That's not fair. Why was I designed to feel pain? Why was I designed? Confuse Alex. Thank you very much for your super chat. Hermit of the Natter Knolls and his transformation. Okay, we got a Hermit of the Natter Knolls, a green 2 generic 2/3 human werewolf. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, draw a card. That's not bad. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Hermit of the Natter Knolls. And you get the Lone Wolf of the Lone Wolf. The Lone Wolf. One Lone Wolf around here. 3/5 werewolf. Whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, draw 2 cards. Oh god. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Lone Wolf of the Natter Knolls. Man, trying to play spells on your opponent's turn. Or on your turn while you have this Hermit. Probably a huge pain. Alright, we go back to the freebies here. Cruel Ultimatum, any of them? Are they legendary? What do you guys think? Are the ultimatums legendary? Let's look up Cruel Ultimatum. Was this a one-time thing, or could this happen many times? Red, red, black, 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 blue, blue. Target opponent sacks a creature, discards 3 cards, and loses 5 times. Return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, then gain 5 life. There's always a greater power. I sort of look like anyone can make this bargain or whatever. I will give you this ultimatum. Yeah, I don't think it's legendary. Not gonna count here. The Relic of Legends. Says Jacob. 3 generic artifact, add 1 mana of any color. Tap or untapped legendary creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. Yep, this is is it the Relic of Legends or a Relic of Legends? I think this is a unique artifact. If the worst parts of history can repeat themselves, it stands to reason that the best parts can as well. Alright, next up we got Isaiah. Thank you so much for your super chat. Obsidian Fireheart. Its text, the land continues to burn, feels like an ability that would show up on a legendary. So red, 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 1 generic, 4/4 elemental. The red, red, 1 generic, put a blaze counter on target land without a blaze counter on it for as long as that land has a blaze counter on it. It has, at the beginning of your upkeep, this land deals 1 damage to you. You're getting blazed, Obsidian Fireheart? I guess that's fine, because it's becoming more and more illegal around the world. The land continues to burn after Obsidian Fireheart has left the battlefield. Yeah. Obsidian Fireheart has left the building, and you still burn with it. I agree. The flavor text reveals this is a unique entity. Okay, we gotta thank our sponsor. We're gonna look at more cards that should be legendary but are actually not legendary, we gotta thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com, my one-stop shop. First place I go to get all my Magic the Gathering cards. Deal of the week this week. Save up to 15% off all revised singles. If you want to get legendary cards that are not actually legendary, you get them at revised because legends didn't exist at that time. And you know what coupon code to use at checkout, people. You gotta use coupon code Nikachu. Why? Because it supports the channel and it gets you 5% off all your purchases. We're always gonna thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Play as many decks as you want. Play Pauper, Pioneer, Vintage. I'm looking into Vintage because you know what? Merfolk actually doesn't look very good in Vintage, but maybe it is. And it doesn't cost me all that much when I am renting with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save yourself 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_PG2. It's cheaper to experiment with things when you are renting with Mana Traders. Alright, what do we got next? My coffee crew. We did Soulfire Grandmaster already. Oh, the name implies it's the last? Really? Okay, interesting. Maybe there are many Obsidian Firehearts. Dem says Lord of Atlantis should be legendary. Merfolk Lord always feels legendary, and it's bonkers that you can play multiple copies. It's just a rank, right? Like, there can be more than one Lord. I think there can be multiples of these. I don't think it's very much anything. The Wii Shop channel music is now associated with the coupon code Nikachu in my mind. Also Castlevania 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'll write that down. Maybe we'll look up some Castlevania music. Yeah. It's got that. We got that Pavlovian dog thing going on. Oh, Library of Alexandria! Yeah, this is the library. Let's go look at the original one. I love the original art for this card. Ah, I wish I owned this card. Wish I bought this like 20 years ago. Tap, add 1 colorless to your mana pool, or draw a card from your library. You may use the card drawing ability only if you have exactly 7 cards in your hand. I love lands. I love drawing cards. I love the Library of Alexandria. What is it now? It's over $2,000? F this card, not buying it. Proxies for the win, damn it. Proxies for the win. Lord Magicus, Vampire Killer. Bloody Tears, the beginning and all. Oh, you're talking about the music. I'll look up all the Castlevania music. Stone Rain, the library. Oh God. Okay, more super chats. More super chats. What the hell is this? Tamara. Sorry. Tamanoa. Tamanoa. I don't even know what I'm looking at. White, green, red, 2/4 spirit. Whenever a non-creature source you control deals damage, you gain that much life. That's a pretty unique ability. When Frail Eyes spoke the world's spell, the Tamanoa rose to bring a new morning to Terrasair. It sounds like it's a tribe more than a creature, if I understand this correctly. That's what it sounds like. Oh, pick my card, Maze. Alright, we're gonna look at Maze's End soon. Are we gonna count? I don't know about this one. I don't understand. The Tamanoa. Oh, no, it does say the Tamanoa rose to bring a new... but I can't tell if the Tamanoa is the creature or it's like a tribe of some sort. Just don't know the lore. Maybe this works, maybe it doesn't. Okay, I'm assuming... Oh, yeah, this is literally a spot in Ravnica. Maze's End. Maze's End, enter the battlefield tapped. Tap, add a colorless to your mana pool. Pay 3, tap. Return Maze's End to its owner's hand. Search your library for a gate card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. If you control 10 or more gates with different names, you win the game. You just win the game. So anyway, Maze's End. How did they screw this up? I guess they wanted some sort of Maze's End deck to exist, and it just really sucked to make this card legendary, because you would want to have like 3 to 4 of them in your deck to find the other gate cards. So it just made more sense to have it as non-legendary. It's like Valakut. Like if you want to make a Valakut deck, you sort of want to have as many Valakuts in the deck as possible, and then it's just really clunky if they're all legendary. Wizard Coast doesn't want lands to blow each other up for shenanigan reasons. Yeah, but it's a flavor fail. It's like, this is 2 flavor fail videos in a row. Most cards that say you win the game should be legendary. Wise words come from Lord Magicus. Alright, next up we got Ethan with the World Slayer. Slayer of Worlds. World Slayer, 5 mana equipment. Oh yeah, this looks like a very, very unique, you know, like Thor's hammer, like, for a sword. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy all permanents other than World Slayer. Good God! We don't want to even use this card. It's like $2. Equip for 5. If that is what you seek, try looking in craters, said Fodrus, Master Smith. Definitely a legendary. Definitely legendary-esque. Rob Boy with a super chat. Thank you so much. Moon Silver Spear. We got the Moon Silver Spear for a 4 generic. Equipped creature has first strike. Whenever equipped creature attacks, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. I don't know the Moon Silver Spear. It sounds like it's just made out of silver coming from the moon. I don't know the lore on this one. This could be legendary. It could not. Maybe or maybe not. Ecos, do you have some clarity on the Tamanoa for the feel and the troll punish effects? Tamanoa. We still don't have. Is this does anyone can chime in on this? Like, is this legendary or what? I can't tell if it's a tribe of creatures. We gotta figure this out. What are the Tamanoa MTG? We're gonna consult Google. Google will know something. No, useless. Absolutely useless. No one's telling me anything. Whatever. I guess we'll never know. It doesn't look like anyone else can like chime in on this. All right, moving on. We'll have Fang. Thanks so much for your super chat. Badoka Gardener. Oh, you know what? I liked this flipping over thing. I actually thought it was. I think it's better than like the split card nonsense, or even like double-faced cards. I think it's really cool. Badoka Gardener, green 1 generic. Tap. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you control 10 or more lands, flip Badoka Gardener, and we're gonna flip it around, and it becomes a legendary creature. So it's. That is so weird. It starts off as like a regular schmuck, and then you become legendary. Becomes Dokai, Weaver of Life. Green 4 generic. Tap. Create an XX green elemental creature token where X is the number of lands you control. Clearly, though, there must be an origin story for each legendary creature, and this is it. Or is this similar to how it's like Stoneforge Mystic turns into... Or I think a lot of people said Stoneforge Mystic is not Nahiri. It's just like a similar person from the same tribe. But anyway, yeah, that is definitely legendary-esque. Moving on, we've got Sky Neo, 7-Tail Mentor. We got white 3 generic 2/3 Fox Samurai. When 7-Tail Mentor enters the battlefield or dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. I have taught you all I can. Take this blade and rise as my equal. Definitely talking like this is a very unique character. Reminds me of the fox from Samurai Pizza Cats, for anyone who knows what I'm talking about. The big cheese! Tell you all I can. Take this blade and rise as my equal. Definitely sounds like a legendary card. Probably not worth being legendary. Wasn't worth it. But still is acting like one. Lawai! Thank you very much for the super chat. Pearl Lake Ancient. People are very, very passionate about your legendary creatures that are not legendary. Pearl Lake Ancient, blue 5 generic, 6/7 Leviathan. Those Leviathans are big. You can't have too many of them out there. Flash, Pearl Lake Ancient can't be countered. With Prowess? It's a very bizarre Prowess card. And then return 3 lands you control to their owner's hand. Return Pearl Lake Ancient to its owner's hand. So it's acting like a legendary creature. We are returning the Pearl Lake Ancient to its owner's hand. How many oracles does Thassa have? Well, probably many. Probably like 1 billion oracles. You have many oracles. You have many advisors. Alright, moving on. We've got, let's take some from chat here. Victor, Candelabra of Thanos. Definitely a legendary-esque card. Pay 1, X, tap, untap target lands. Thanos learned quickly from Urza that utter simplicity often led to wondrous yet subtle utility. Simple is genius, people. Simple is genius. I think maybe a lot of these cards were designed to be non-legendary so that they couldn't be a commander. Oh, that's a good theory as well, Toilet Duck. Yeah, I never thought about that. There's probably a lot of cards that they don't want to make legendary, which, well, maybe. Some cards do become busted when they become commander. That's like an extra power given to them. Armageddon with Prince of Thralls. Yeah, it's a prince. A very ugly prince, I might add. Red, black, black, blue, 4 generic for a 7/7 demon. Whenever a permanent opponent controls is put into a graveyard, put that card into play under your control unless that opponent plays 3. And there are none alive that I cannot crush. There are none dead I do not command. This is... How many princes can there be? They are very specifically talking about this prince, if anything. Definitely. Okay, next up, we've got... Fire with Aladdin. We did look at Aladdin. We look at Aladdin again. I was just thinking how, if there were multiple Aladdins on the battlefield, could they game the system with the genie in the bottle? And I guess not. Because the genie would just be like, okay, so if one Aladdin used 2 wishes and then a second Aladdin tried to use a wish, the genie would be like, alright, that's your 3rd wish, bye. Or maybe it would grant a wish and you'd be like, wait, why am I still here? Because it's not literally a second Aladdin. I guess Aladdin had like 4 twin brothers, according to the lore of Magic the Gathering. Black Lotus and Soul Ring. I think there's many Black Lotus is just one of many lotuses, right? Yeah, I did Sarah's Angel at the beginning. I agree, Sarah's Angel. I think Sarah's Angel should be a legendary creature, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's like it's just an angel of Sarah or something like that. Is your background real? Yes, it's actually it's literally a real piece of foam out here. Yeah, no green screen. A lot of people think it's a green screen. It'd be the weirdest green screen. Oh man. Okay, I gotta get back to the super chats. There's just so many of them. Can't even fly with Valakut the Valakut is a mountain range. It makes sense that each individual Molten Pinnacle isn't legendary. Is that right? Okay, hold on. We gotta look that one up. What is a Valakut? No, but it's the Molten Pinnacle. Valakut is a mountain range. So it could be a range of mountains, but when we talk about Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, like it's the Molten Pinnacle where the lava is coming out. It going kablooey. You know, get out of the way. It's Mountain Doom. So I can understand it could be a mountain range. It's very jagged around there, but like you can't have more than one pinnacle. What does pinnacle mean? It's like the top, right? Pinnacle. I need a definition. Definition. The most successful point. High, pointed piece of rock. Set on or as if on a pinnacle. There we go. You can't have one more than one top unless they're like equally flat or something. They're like equally high. There could be more than one volcano in one mountain range. BS. I mean, I get maybe. Can't Even Fly wants to have as many molten pinnacles in their deck as possible. John! Thank you so much for your super chat, John. Nyx Bloom Ancient. Oh yeah. Okay, we got a green 4 generic 5/5 elemental. With trample, if you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead. I bet it's not legendary because they ran out of room on the card. Like, they would make this legendary, but there's literally no room on here. And sometimes because of that, it's like a word design restriction. Ancient yet ever young, it is wise and subtle, and cruel and reckless as the spring itself. Yeah, this should be a legendary for sure. Oh, the swords! Oh, that's a pretty good take. So that's like a sword of fire and ice. I could get behind that. Each sword has like these unique abilities. I don't know what the lore is behind these cards. Like, did they produce more than one sword of fire and ice? And truth be told, they act legendary anyway. No one wants to have more than one of these swords in their deck in the first place. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. They all give like the creature +2/+2 and protection from whatever like flavor it is. So in here it's fire and ice, so blue and red. And they have some special ability. They all equip for 2. Yeah, I think this one could be it. Nikachu is the pinnacle of the MTG content streamers. Oh, thank you. We got from Argentina, we got the World Slayer. Okay, fine. Oh, we did this one. Yeah, it blows up everything. All right, moving on with, okay, I'll try to look for another one here. We have Liquid Soulfly with Dragon Tyrant. And then we'll look at bulkies. Dragon Tyrant, red 8 mana for a 6/6. For that much mana, it better be legendary. Flying Trample, double strike at the beginning of your upkeep. Sack Dragon Tyrant unless you pay quadruple red. Actually, maybe that's not the right one. Red, it gets fire breathing. Yeah, it gets 1/1/0 until end of turn. Okay, bulky with Uncle Istvan. Don't know how many people have an uncle called Istvan. Yeah, not many, especially not one. You don't want to visit this uncle. If you visit, you may not come out alive. Might become part of the axe collection. All right, we got a black, 1 generic, 1/3 human. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Uncle Istvan by creatures. Solitude drove the old hermit insane. Now he only keeps company with those he can catch. Also, in the story here, in the flavor, is acting like there is only one. It's the old hermit. This is what happens if you're in isolation for like 10 years. This is why solitary confinement is very, very problematic. They gotta let the prisoners out on the playground once in a while. Make them go insane. If they weren't crazy to going into prison, they will be if they stay there too long. Alright, moving on. We've got King Ginger. Manticore. Oh, is this gonna be another one of these things? Yeah, this probably could have been legendary, but there's no space here. There's just nothing because they need to make it an enchantment. It's a Wooburg 4/4 with the craziest bestow and 2 generic. Flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, lifelink. Enchanted creature gets +4/+4 and has flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, and lifelink. I feel like I'm conveying a Pepto-Bismol commercial. Thank you, Chromanticore. For flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, and lifelink. Thanks, Chromanticore. Someone make the song for me. You got it. Make it, MTG Remy. Make it. Make a Chromanticore song. Make a commercial out of this thing. You just do what the Sliver Queen did and put in the text. Was that what they did? Sliver Queen? Sliver, legendary creature, Sliver. Oh yeah, that's right. The original one. But it wasn't hard. Like they errated it, right? It's just a legendary creature, Sliver. It's pretty easy, but it's not a enchantment creature, whatever. Or maybe they could get rid of the creature part. Like that's redundant. If it has a power and toughness, it's obviously a creature. I don't know. Maybe it'll screw people up. Sliver Queen counts as a sliver. Yeah. They have the legend part here, but the creature type down here. Or, oh yeah, okay, so they could have legendary, so now, okay, what you're telling me is they could have legendary enchantment creature, and then in the text box, we've got the creature type Manticore. Counts as Manticore. Yeah, always if there was running out of space. Holy crap, the super chat today. Yo, little Ted, thank you so much for your super chat. Cultivator Colossus. What's this fellow? Green, 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 4 generic for a plant beast? Star power, trample. Cultivator Colossus, power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. When Cultivator Colossus enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you do, draw a card and repeat the process. I think in theory there could be another one. There's nothing in the flavor text that says that this guy's pretty unique. But I don't know. I'll leave it to the coffee crew to decide in the comment section. We got Rob Boy. For my last one, the Moon Silver Spear is Avacyn's Spear. Okay, we got some clarity here. Because I don't know the flavor I don't know the lore to any of this stuff. I don't read the books, people. When there's an article about like the lore, I don't read any of it. Tree of Redemption's flavor is super specific about. Oh, I'll look up the Tree of Redemption then. Tree of Redemption. All right, so this is Avacyn's Spear. That was hers. It's like Thassa's Bident. So there's can only be one. For some reason, it came out in 2014. Like, whatever. They should have known it was legendary. Tree of Redemption. Green 3 generic 013 plant with Defender. Tap, exchange your life total with the Tree of Redemption's toughness. The Executioner's Tree in Thraben Cathedral holds the power to absolve more than the souls of the hanged. It's even saying specifically the tree. The Executioner's Tree in Thraben Cathedral. Don't get too close to that tree. Unless you need the life, I guess. Fang! Thanks so much, Fang. Godsire. Oh yeah, we looked at this one. Yeah, the big beast with the big tusks. Definitely. Lay sacrifice to the Godsire. The Godsire of all Godsires. Thank you very much for the super chat. But you also have another one. You got God Head of Awe. We definitely didn't do that one. The Godhead. Oh, this looks legendary. I've never seen this card before. So we got, for hybrid, Azorius. A 4/4 spirit avatar with flying. Other creatures are 1/1s! This card is insane! It's not even that expensive. It's 5 mana. What she saw crawling upon this world repulses her, yet she could not tear her gaze away. The Seer's Parables. Oh, but they don't lose all abilities, so they get to keep their abilities, but everything else is still a weenie. But you could combo this with like maybe one of those cards like all other creature gets -1/-1. So essentially nothing is allowed to be on the battlefield so long as this card exists. Yeah, what the hell is this? Yeah, it's even an avatar. Definitely should be legendary. It's definitely a really cool card. I never heard of this. It's $4. Now that you know it exists, get them at fusiongamingonline.com while supplies last. Jacob with Quicksilver Amulet. Oh, thanks for sharing this card. This Godhead of Oz is absolutely... And I love the picture, too. Love the picture. Alright, 4 mana for an amulet. Pay 4, tap. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. One of the first Timmy cards people pick up. They're like, I'm going to put a big Eldrazi and play with this thing. Pay 4, tap. Anyway, yeah, I said that. Those who examine the amulet too closely have been known to become part of its ornate carvings. Bandit with Deranged Hermit. I think all the hermits seem to be legendary. Like, how many people go... This is what happens when you live by yourself for too long. In the forest, you become one with the squirrels. They basically adopt you. Green, 3 generic for a 1/1 elf. This is an elf? This elf really grew out their hair. And the Echo of 5 mana, but when Deranged Hermit enters the battlefield, put 4 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens onto the battlefield. Squirrel creatures get +1/+1, so essentially you put 8 power in play. 9 if you want to pay the Echo to keep this guy around. I guess you do if you want to keep the 8 power in play. You do want the 8 power. 8 power is not bad. It's not bad. Calantera says, is Tree of Perdition the same tree as Tree of Redemption after some time? Tree of Perdition. Good question. I think so. You look at the building over here. Let's look at tree. There will be no absolution. Tree of Redemption. Okay, let's see if the environment changes in the background. So we see there's something of a cathedral over here, and there's nothing over here. Oh god, there's people hanging on this tree. That's So there's there's a cathedral of some sort over here, and there's sort of there's a big rock over there, and there's a bit of a destroyed rock. I think it's the same tree. I think it's the same one. Castle Vantress. Wait, have we done Tarmogoyf at some? No, I don't think Tarmogoyf honestly is a legendary creature. I think there's many Tarmogoyfs. It's just a Lurgoyf of many Lurgoyfs. Castle Vantress. Yeah, like, why didn't they make these legendaries? I guess it would sort of suck for them, but like that, how many Castle Vantresses are there? Castle Vantress enters the battlefield tapped unless you control an island. Tapped out of blue. Blue 2 generic. Tap scry 2. Without Vantress's knowledge, the realm would lose itself in darkness. This is like clearly a legendary card. They should have just paid homage to things like Oboro and Minamo and stuff like that. And all the original legendary lands that there was. But Hans even said it's the Lurgoyf. Okay, now the original Lurgoyf, that might be true. What is it called? Lurgoyf? Okay, this guy might be legendary. This specifically, not Tarmogoyf, but the Lurgoyf. This guy ate Hans, or Sophie, or Safi. Green 2 generic for a star 1+ star. Lurgoyf's power is equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. I guess that's flavorful. Eats hands and then gets bigger. Hans run! It's the Lurgoyf! Says Safi, Eric's daughter's last words. So, that is it. Alright, I got so many super chats to get through. Sky Neo! Sorry for being late on this earlier when I brought up Lotus Field. I said Nyx Lotus was legendary. Nyx Lotus, yes. Was legendary. Doesn't quite make sense if a single Lotus is a legend, but not the field. I guess this is the Lotus of Nyx. Like, there is one Lotus here. So that's the deal. There is a Lotus field, so there could be many fields of Lotuses. But this thing is the Nyx Lotus. We don't see it even another one in the image. I don't know. I don't know the lore behind all this. We got Blake. Blake, thank you very much for your super chat. Moss Viper. Moss Viper Green, 1/1 snake with Death Touch. Nalia watches over all the creatures of the forest except for the snakes. Blessed by Farika, they can take care of themselves. Is this legendary? I think this is just one of many Moss Vipers. Now, if it was like the Moss Viper that bit, I don't know, Nylia or something like that, then I would understand, but I don't think this is anything particularly special. I don't know if that one counts. Well, let's look at your other one, Blake. As a serious one... Oh, the first one was a joke, huh? The World Tree, if it isn't done. We did the World Tree. And that one absolutely does qualify. 100%. That is a legend... Should be a legendary card. Victor with Furnace of Ross. Oh, sorry, Wrath. Wrath. We got a red, 1 generic enchantment. If a source would deal damage to a creature or player, it deals double that damage to that creature or player instead. The furnace awaits the next master who would stoke the fires of apocalypse. Yeah, how many furnaces of wrath are there? Yeah, I got trolled too. We all got a little trolled there. Calantera's with the questing Feldegriff. Oops. Can't spell. The questing Feldegriff. Isn't this an anagram of something? Something Dr. Richard Garfield? Dr. Or is it Dr. Garfield? I think it's Dr. Garfield. PhD. Okay, blue, white, green, 1 generic for a 4/4 Feldegriff. Green, questing Feldegriff gets +1/+1 until end of turn. White, questing Feldegriff gains protection from black, and red until end of turn. Target opponent gains 2 life, and hold on, well, whatever. This card does a whole lot of stuff. I guess that could be legendary. I guess, maybe. A lot of you are super big on Soulfire Grandmaster. We did that one already, but like, I didn't know so many people would be so passionate about this. Want this as their commander or something? It's the only way it would make sense to me. Oh, Oblivious with the Mirrodin artifacts. Yeah, Ancient Den. Just looking at Ancient Den. How many Ancient Dens are there? This is the den of all ancientness. Totally agree with the Mirrodin artifact lands. Okay, we got one more super chat for the road. Godhead of Awe. I think we did this one with Kaervek the Spiteful. Kaervek the Spiteful, black, 2 generic. This is a legendary creature, and then hold on, so you said Godhead of Awe? Defy me, and I will burn the flesh from your bones. Betray me, and I will steal the breath from your lungs. Somehow Godhead of Awe goes with this. So these are two same things? Oh! They combo with each other. Kaervek will be a 1/1 and kill off every... There's a combo for us. Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate it. This is not... Yeah, other creatures at -1/-1. Oh god, Steve Cooper. Super chat, $5. Conflux, I think you missed it. Did I miss one? Let me go back. What did I miss here? Was it like really far away? I'm not seeing anything from Conflux or you. But thanks for the super chat here. I don't understand what was missed. If someone lets me know, I will pin it to the top. Hold on, is Conflux the card you want to look up? Hold on, let's look up Conflux. Is that an actual card here? Oh, it is a card. Okay, we have green, red, black, blue, white, 3 generic sorcery. Search your library for a white card and blue card and black card and a red card and a green card. Reveal those cards and put them into your hand, then shelf your library. After years of world-bending machinations, Bolus's triumph is at hand. Oh yeah, that could be a legendary sorcery. I see it. The Conflux card, yes. Okay, and then we've got Howling Mine out of hand when you each have 4 down. Oh god. Howling Mine, the artifact for 2 mana. At the beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mine is untapped, that player draws an additional card. Okay, so is that it? Are we done here? I think that we're done here. Alright, thank you very much for being here today. Excellent, it was an excellent show. I hope you enjoyed all the cards that should have been legendary, but aren't actually legendary. If you want to be part of the show, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thanks so much for your super chats, contributing to the show by naming your cards. Also, by everyone who is a supporter by being a member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon. And most importantly, we've got to thank everyone, the coffee crew, for showing up in the morning. People like Steve, Dem, Loki, we got Erland, Oblivious, Toads, Mr. Leon, Vitor. We got John, King Ginger, Jess, Rod Boy, Toads, Abzo, Can't Even Fly, Trevor Peebles, John, Christopher B, Megagar, Modestus. Who else? We have Guerism. We have Noel, Fang, Mario. My god, there's so many of you here today. So usual, my coffee crew. Keep brewing up them coffees. We're going to keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you. Whoops. I'll see you at the next cup.